To work out the volume of a sphere, we need to use the following formula. 4 over 3 times pi times r cubed. To find out what r is, consider this. To work out the volume of a sphere, we need to use the following formula. 4 over 3 times pi times r cubed. To find out what r is, consider this diagram of a sphere. The radius, which is what r represents, is from the center of your sphere to anywhere on its edge. So it could be here, or it could be down here, or it could be somewhere off to a side. Let's do an example on this. So if my radius was 3 centimeters, to work out the volume, we would need to do 4 over 3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 3 cubed. Now the first thing I'm going to do, just in case this wasn't on calculator, is I'm just going to work out what 3 cubed is. And 3 times 3 is 9, times by 3 is 27. So I'm going to replace that with 27. Then, again, treating this as if it were a non-calculated question, I'm going to divide that 27 by 3, because that's my denominator, and then I'm going to times my answer by 4, because that's my numerator of this fraction. So 27 divided by 3 is 9, and then 9 times 4 is 36. So I have 36 times pi, which is just 36 pi centimeters cubed, because this is a volume. And that is my final answer. Now I could take that one step further and type it into my calculator, and my final answer, if I wanted it as a decimal, would be 113.1 centimeters cubed to 1 decimal place. What if instead I had a diameter of 10 centimeters? Well, the first thing I'll need to do here is I'll need to divide that 10 by 2, because the diameter is double the radius. 10 divided by 2 is 5 centimeters. So this will be our radius that we will need to use. From here, our steps are the same. So to work out our volume, we're going to do 4 over 3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 5 cubed. And the reason I draw that bracket is just in case, if you're typing all of that into a calculator, if you type it with the brackets, you'll make sure you're cubing the 5 before you multiply by everything else. But let's carry on the way we were doing it before. So 5 cubed, I'm going to work out first, which is 125. And then I'm going to multiply this by 4 and divide by 3. Doing that will give me 500 over 3, because it does not simplify. And so I'm going to attach that pi to it, and then my units. And if I wanted an exact answer, this would be my solution. If I wanted an answer that was rounded to 1 decimal place, I would need to type this into my calculator. Typing it into the calculator gives you 523.6 centimeters cubed. In my final example, I'm going to draw my radius so it's coming up from the center, just to show you that it's the exact same thing. So in this example, I want my radius to be 8 centimeters. I don't need to divide by 2 because I already have my radius. So going straight into my volume, 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 8 cubed. 8 times 8 times 8 is going to give us 512. So I'm going to replace the 8 cubed with 512. And then I'm going to multiply this by 4 and divide by 3. 512 multiplied by 4 gives us 2,048. And then divided that by 3 gives us 2,048/3, because that fraction does not simplify, pi centimeters cubed. And if I want this as an exact answer, I would stop here. But if I want it as a rounded answer, then I would type it into my calculator, and in this case, I would end up with 2,144.7 centimeters cubed. Don't forget your units. So our key points to remember are to check that we've included our units and to make sure we are using the radius and not the diameter.